Hey y'all, it's your Aaron, and today I'm going to be playing some Minecraft, and well, Minecraft now supports special characters apparently. But yeah, I'm playing on the infinite snapshot of Minecraft on my peaceful survival server, and it's a glitch seed, so those are all the things that make this world interesting to me. In this episode, I'm going to be building a sugarcane farm and then putting together the XP bank, and yeah, I'm also listening to some music, so if you want to know what song's playing, look at the bottom of the screen. I should have the artist's name and the name of the song there, or you can check the description because I'll put a link to the music stuff. Yeah, I like to use music that is like released under the Creative Commons, so that it's like free to use on YouTube. You shouldn't get copyright claims, although sometimes you do anyway, which is annoying, but I'm trying to, find as much music that I can that I like that is Creative Commons, so that there's like stuff to listen to when watching me play Minecraft, I guess. But you can also use the music in other videos too in the future, so I think it's valuable. So yeah, I'm just time-lapsing through a lot of the stuff because it's like very tedious. Like today's episode was like 4 hours of gameplay, and so condensed into like an hour and a half. So that's condensation is due to all the time lapsing, so hopefully it's not too distracting, whatever. I wanted to see if putting the sand in the mine carts here first and then putting the minecart in the middle would stop the two underneath from moving, but they still moved. So I was like, okay, screw it, I'm just gonna make them not next to each other. And I don't need a lot of sugarcane, so I basically only need it for the paper for books, because like you need book and quill to go to custom dimensions or whatever they're called. I'm still getting the hang of how to do all the carts and all that stuff, so it's also like gonna be annoying to watch in real time, and like then I've made like a lot of mistakes and I have to like go back and fix things. So yeah, but so yeah, I ended up deciding I'll just, even though it's not efficient, I'll continue doing the hopper with sand on, hopper with hopper minecart and sand inside it on top method to collect. And I don't know why, but I jumped off there and died. Like, I think I was trying to jump into the water, but that wasn't the side that had the water. So anyway, just gotta go back and collect the stuff. So yeah, I haven't been playing a lot of Minecraft. Like I played a bit like a long time ago, and then I played a bit last year, but I've only really been getting back into it this year, and so I'm still learning how some of the stuff works. Like when I last played, like I don't remember ever using bamboo, for example. And I never really did like farms, like other than just planting food in the ground. So I didn't do much redstone and stuff, so it's like I'm learning as I go with all this stuff. And yeah, so now I'm just trying to make sure I get all my stuff that dropped. looks like it. And I'm gonna go grab some dirt. It's like you mine the dirt pretty quick, so in time lapse it's like super fast. Because like this is just a diamond shovel, like I don't have any of the enchantments and stuff yet. That's what I want to start getting towards. The next episode I'm probably going to try and get an elytra and then some netherite and then start working towards getting the enchantments I need on my gear. I probably won't, yeah, so that's probably what I'm going to do in the next episode. I'll see. But if like I'm doing more exploration and stuff, I'm not gonna like, you know, time lapse that stuff too much, so that might be a bit slower progress. I'll have to see how it goes. Doing some inventory management, so get some coal. I think the plan is to make some more glass. I'm just trying to see what could possibly be useful here. And yeah, so the music I'm listening to today, it's mostly like what you could call chip music. Which is like the umbrella term for music that has like chiptune style sounds in it. So chiptunes is like music that is made by chips, like sound chips from like Game Boys or like old consoles and stuff. And so you can make music using those chips and stuff. And so the music you get from that is called chiptunes. But you can also use those sounds in music that is like a little bit more produced, like it couldn't really play on those devices, but it still has like the same sounds here and there. And so that stuff's like chip music, but not necessarily chip tunes. Although, I mean, it's like genres of music, it's not really a set definition, but that's just the way I see them differing. And I was actually really happy to find out that one of my all-time favorite artists actually released their music as Creative Commons. Like, that's really like boosted my mood, because like I'm trying to only listen to music that's Creative Commons or like, you know, free to share and stuff, because I'm trying to find more good music like that, and the only way you can find more good music is if you like aren't listening to other types, basically. It's because you gotta like have a limited supply to go look for more, basically. I got like a whole bunch of sand there, so I think I'm gonna go smelt it now. But yeah, like, anyway, as I was looking at music that was Creative Commons and also chip music, and like I was like, oh yeah, Kubbi, which is the name of the artist, has like chip music style. It would be so cool if their music was Creative Commons. And then I went to their Bandcamp and it was, and I was like, oh yes. And I immediately downloaded like the 2 of the albums. Like, I'll get the rest of them as well, because like I'm probably gonna end up using like at least 2 Kubbi songs in like every video going forward. That's how much I like this band. And they also have like a lot of music, and like pretty much every song is like a banger. So yeah, if you're listening to the same songs as I am, then I'll let you know when they come on. The only way the order could change or whatever is if I have to swap a song out because I got a copyright claim on it, because I'm specifically using music that's licensed like in such a way that you don't get copyright claims. So if I do get one, it's like I'll rather just take that song out and find one that won't copyright claim me, because like it's also like, because I'm trying to get like a bunch of music that is safe to use in videos, and then like that's like a really cool resource. Like I can even share it with others if they're trying to make videos and stuff and they're looking for music that is safe to use. So yeah, but it's kind of curated in a way, because like you do get websites obviously like for that kind of thing, but a lot of the music on there is like stuff that I wouldn't really listen to myself. So when I'm looking for music for like these videos, then I confine it to only songs I actually like. They're not always like my favorite song ever. Like some of them are like okay, but they all like have something cool about them that I would not mind hearing now and then and listening to. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you which are which, but I will tell you which ones I really like a lot. I really like the look of these purple blocks for, well, basically for everything, but they like a nice way to accent the farm. I was also thinking like I could replace the dirt on top with something else to make it look kind of better. But yeah, that's like not something I'm planning on doing anytime soon. Because like basically this particular farm, like yeah, with these 3 different farms on top and the XP bank at the bottom, like after this video, today's episode or whatever, like I'm not planning to come back and work on them anymore for now, because they're basically going to be done. And if I need to get sugarcane, I'll just come get it. If I need XP, I'll come get it. If like I need higher rates and stuff, then I can expand them, but I'm gonna just use them as they are for now, and I'll see if I get annoyed, like, man, I wanted it to be more XP, or I wanted to get more paper, then I'll be like, okay, let's make the farm bigger. But otherwise, like, you know, I want to get on to other stuff, because like the farms are really just like a tool to save time in the long run by investing a bit of it upfront to get them up. So like I don't end up like not having enough paper and then I've got to go searching for it and stuff, or like go and like build a, yeah, well, I mean that's the option, is then you build a farm, which is what I'm doing. I guess. So yeah, although yeah, I'm not like doing it super efficiently, so I mean you could use these as a reference of how to make this, but I'd say more like try to understand how it works in the end. Maybe seeing the bits in the middle with getting there, but don't necessarily follow on step by step, because then you're going to be going backwards and forwards with a bunch of stuff like I am. But think it was also fun to make these farms because like I was learning how all the mechanics work, like how hoppers work, how, you know, like hopper transfer pipes, like keeping the items in their place, how to send the redstone signals up and down, and how to break like the different bamboo and sugarcane and cactus. And I actually like the solution I came up with in this video for the sugarcane, because like they only grow 3 blocks high, and if you break the bottom block, then it's kind of like it gets unplanted, and then you'd have to plant it again. So that's not super like renewable or whatever. It's sustainable, unless you wanted to then have like some other contraption that was replanting it. But like you don't need to do all that. You just need to break the second block. But it only grows 3 blocks high. So if you are looking for a block change with an observer, then the highest block you can observe is the 3rd block, but you're breaking the 2nd block, which is only 1 block below. And so then to send a redstone signal from an observer, like for example to the block directly underneath it, you would need to have some other block behind it that is taking the signal down that block. And so then you end up using more than 1 block on the horizontal axis. Then so you would need like 2 blocks per sugarcane that weren't including the sugarcane block. And so the solution I came up with for here uses only 1, excluding the sugarcane, because the observer is on top of the sugarcane looking down. And yeah, I really like that solution, even though like it's super inefficient when it comes to like resource usage, because of how many like observers I'm using and all that kind of thing. But you know, the fact that I'm playing on the infinite snapshot means I've got access to these custom dimensions where I can just mine, you know, from like chunks of iron blocks. You know, I've probably mined like 15 stacks of iron blocks, and I've hardly scratched the surface on one of the like chunks of iron in the world that's like the dimension that will generate them infinitely. So I don't need to worry about whether something uses like more or less resources, basically, which is quite cool, because normally that's only the case in creative, whereas in this one it's like I still have to go and get the resources. It's just that the resources are way more abundant. And so yeah, that also kind of ties into what I was talking about in the last episode about like solar punk, because like you know, like it's kind of like a post-scarcity kind of way of playing Minecraft, but not to the extent of creative, you know. It's like a nice in-between. Yeah, this is like in between creative and normal Minecraft, but normal peaceful isn't that in between. It's closer to normal Minecraft than to creative. This is moves it closer to creative. Anyway, so yeah. Other difference between the bamboo and the sugarcane is the sugarcane has to be directly next to water, and you don't even need water for the bamboo or the cactus. So yeah, this is the only one that needs water. So yeah, planting all the sugarcane now, and yeah, this farm is like quite small, I guess, but it's also because it's like automatic that it's much better than the similar size farm would be if it was manual, because you're not going to manually come and break every sugarcane as soon as it gets to the third block. There's going to be a delay between that, and you might come back and have half your farm at its max height. Whereas with this, you never have it at max height, because as soon as a single sugarcane grows to max height, it gets broken back down to 1 block high. So yeah, and also like the whole aesthetic, and having the observer looking face down at the top of the sugarcanes also made it cool for me to have the redstone lamps on top. So you have like the light going off every time something happens, which is pretty cool. I mean, you kind of have to wait a while to catch it happening, but just the fact that it does happen is a cool thought, you know. So yeah, this is Kubbi, if the orders have remained the same so far. And yeah, this is the band that I was talking about, where you are going to be hearing a lot more from them because of how much I like them. It's like giving competition to like Sagittarius V, Home, and Ava. But yeah, I guess I have like found so much cool music in the process of looking for music for these videos, so even though it's frustrating at times that you hear like a good song that you really like and you want to use, and then you go check the licensing and it's like all rights reserved, and it's like no. But then the feeling you get when you find a song that is really good like that, and then you check the licensing and then it's Creative Commons, and it's like it's such a good feeling, because it's like the difference between, I don't know, it's like a different genre of music to me. Like there's like an emotional like component to music, you know, and the emotions hit better when the artist and the music is non-proprietary, to me anyway. So this is the first plan I had. This isn't going to the individualized observers on top yet, because I hadn't thought of how to do that yet. But so this one is watching only the one at the end, and then when the one at the end fires, the whole row will fire. Except I didn't think it through properly as well. So I was putting the redstone dust across the top of the pistons, and then when they fired, it broke the piston, the redstone dust, and stopped working. So only the first row of the sugarcane got broken, and the redstone signal didn't go any further. So it's kind of embarrassing. It's better to time lapse through all of this so that we don't focus too much on and learn how not to do things too well. But yeah, this artist definitely achieves some great emotional hits for me. So yeah, talking about current news, I noticed that cryptocurrency has been taking a tumble and it's been really fun, because, you know, I don't think cryptocurrencies in their current iteration anyway should exist. I don't think they should exist in any iteration, but it's like, I don't think cash should exist either. I don't think private property should exist. I don't think laws should exist. Like, so if I had to choose, like, if you like told me, okay, the entire world is gonna use, like, you know, the money it uses right now, or every government is going to issue its own digital currency, and the digital currency is going to be completely regulated, then you know, then to me, though, there's no real difference there. But I think that's the only way crypto ends up being useful to society, is if it's done that way, where governments are in control and they manage it the same way they do with you know, paper money or whatever. So I've spoken about that in previous videos, so I'm not going to go over it all again, but just to summarize, like, you know, governments having power over economic policy gives them leverage over the, you know, the rich and corporations, and that means that they can challenge the power of them and do things like regulation, which can benefit people by like giving them protections against, you know, basically the profit's natural inclination to destroy for profit. So yeah, as you can see here, some of the bamboo's like grown to its full height, but the observers haven't fired off yet because they're only checking the block in front of them. So that's why this is like not as efficient as checking each sugarcane on its own. But yeah, so basically that's why I've been really happy about cryptocurrency having like its bubble burst and stuff, because like either way, like the two different scenarios that I think are likely, this is when I was first like, oh wait, I can just put it on top of the fully grown ones. But yeah, the two scenarios I think that are likely is that cryptocurrencies just completely stop being a thing, or they start being regulated more by the governments and not being super anonymous and stuff like that. Like, I think those are the two most likely outcomes of the whole crypto thing. And either way, I think it's good, because either this whole farce of having a currency that is like outside government control, you know, it's no longer there because you have government control or you don't have the crypto. And I'm not a big fan of the government either, just to be clear. But if I had to choose between the government and capitalism, I'd choose the government. But you don't really have to make that choice, because the government exists because of capitalism. You don't have capitalism, you don't need a government. You can have self-government because you take away the incentive for people to undermine each other, because you take away, you know, profit and exchange and make society about cooperation instead of competition. So yeah, this is the design that kind of works, because you only have one block in between each bamboo, that you can just like put them all next to each other without worrying about positioning as much as if it took up two. Like, you could probably still get it right with two, but it would be way more complicated, I think, and harder to like go amongst them and stuff. And although once you put the glass in, you can't really go in anyway. So although having the glass instead of having like extra circuitry does make it look better, in my opinion. anyway, I just hope that, you know, one of those two things happens rather than that we get a crypto without government control, which is pretty bad. And yeah, I guess you know, it's also that, like, I don't want people to be wasting money on things that have no value. And I think I've explained this before as well, but like, there's no real value to society in like what blockchain has to offer, in my opinion. It's kind of difficult to talk about like topics that involve like policies and politics, which is ironic because those are the things that you'd think are the most important for people to talk about. But I guess that's if you want the world to be a good place, people to actually talk about how the world works. If you want it to be a bad place, then you get everyone to not talk about it so that they don't realize they all have the same problems, I guess. It's kind of like how you're not supposed to talk about your salary at work. You're not supposed to tell your coworkers how much you earn. It's like you're not supposed to talk about politics. It's like, it's the same vibe. We're not meant to question, you know, the system we're in. You're not meant to question whether everyone's getting paid the right amount. Same vibe, same energy. Managed to plonk a glass on top of the bamboo there. Glad I saw it. This artist, if the music's all still aligned, is well, if not, anyway, they're called Vault Kid, but been really impressed with their music. Gonna listen to them a bit more. Definitely. Like, I want to go through different genres from time to time and find enough music to make up the, you know, the music for a video in that genre. And then like my larger playlist that has like, you know, like all the music from all the videos and stuff is gonna get more and more like variety of genres and stuff in it, which would be cool. Because like then whenever I end up doing streaming, I will have like a really big playlist, and that'll be very convenient. Also, something I noticed, something I saw from watching, they're called Zazuma something on Twitch, is that they have Patreon, and then they have the multiplayer server, and the patrons have access to play on the server. I thought that was really cool, and I think I would definitely be interested in doing that, but I think to get like a VPN, I think it's gonna cost something like $5 a month or something. So if you count like the cut that Patreon gets, then I'd say I'd need like $6 of Patreon support based on Minecraft itself, because I also make videos for my main channel for people who want to support that. So if people want to support Minecraft specifically and I get like $6 worth, I could set up a VPN and then but the thing is that I haven't done it yet, and I won't do it until people actually ask for it, because it's like gonna make it challenging with if people want to actually build stuff in the world, and I'm still working on stuff, and then my changes won't be in the world. So what I'm thinking is, if maybe I'll do like maybe once a year, like after I've been working on the world for a year, if I have like $6 off Minecraft supporters, I'll put the yearly snapshot up as like a long-term survival world thing, and then maybe like after I've been playing for 2 years, I'll and hopefully have $12 of Patreon supporters for Minecraft. Then I'll put up the second year as a separate snapshot on a separate Minecraft server, and then they'll be both available. Or we could make it that like when the new server goes up, anyone who like joins Patreon or whatever, like after that, like I don't know, only gets access to the second world. Although that's probably worse than just giving people access to everything, because they're already gonna not have all the cool stuff. But then also before that happens, I might want to get some extra mods working that help with like permissions and stuff, so that you can like, because I was thinking then what I would try to do is have like you gotta like whitelist users basically to be able to edit the world, and that way also like if someone stops supporting on Patreon, then you can like change the permissions so that they can't build anymore, but their stuff is still going to be there, and nobody, then that's other things like you set permissions that blocks changed by specific players, like in specific areas, can't be changed by anyone else. Even if the player's like been set to read only and they can't edit it themselves, nobody else will either, if you do the permissions that way. And then everyone that joins, they'll be able to give like their own, they choose basically which custom dimension, but it has to be like one that no one else has chosen yet. And so they'll basically have that dimension, anything inside of it will be, no one else can change it except them, and they can change it as long as they're supporting on Patreon. Because then that way it's like, because then I'm also going to obviously come and play on those servers, and I could like do videos on them and stuff as well. And yeah, and it's also just, you know, like I'm trying to have the opportunity to quit my day job, and I need to be able to make money somehow. So like, to me that's like, it's fair. It's a fair way to do it, because it's kind of like having how you have like your Patreon only Discord channel or whatever. It's like Patreon only building, because like that way it's like the people who are like, you know, who are like interested in the world can actually participate in it, you know. And obviously like if someone is like, you know, they really don't have money but they really want to play, you know, they can always reach out to me, and I could let them play without being a Patreon supporter, you know. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to What am I trying to figure out how to do here? I don't even know. Yeah, like if I could go like full time, then it's not just gonna be like time to do Minecraft videos and stuff. It's like all the other stuff I want to do. I'll have more time for like writing a book, making games, making other kinds of videos, etc. So I'm getting a nice vantage point here to take a look at the farm and hopefully see a light go off to indicate that it's working. And there we go. The light goes off. I'm gonna go check, get the sugarcane. Farm is working. And so the next step will be to actually add the third pipe on, because like I only have 2 sort of glass pipes going down right now, and I need a third one for the sugarcane, because those 2 are for the cactus and the bamboo. And if you are just joining the journey or you skipped some episodes, the reason I have those pipes is I'm going to be putting the XP bank on the floor level, like where the portal is, and I'm also just going to have like a chest where the sugarcane goes, so you don't actually need to come up here unless you need to add to the farms or work on them, or a break or something, you want to fix them, or just to have a look at them, but like you don't need to go to them to get stuff. Because it's like far more convenient to just go, you know, through the portal, grab the stuff you need, go back in the portal, go on with your business. And I managed to die again. That nether room really needs some work. But for now, I think I'm gonna chill. I mean, I can use like potion of fire resistance, which I think I have quite a few now. So the risk of like dying and stuff is gonna be less. But yeah, I just need to wait until I feel more inspired for it. Like really like to get onto some other projects. It's been quite a while working on these farms, but I do think before I totally move on for good, I need to build the sarcophagi, whatever, around the chicken farm and the squid farm. It's like, it's kind of like, you know, cleaning up your mess or hiding the evidence or whatever. Those farms can't really be left as is for too long without it causing psychic damage to me. So I was like, I'm just gonna put like stairs going up on that side too, because like it always ends up being the side I come out of the pool on. Well, not always, but like often. And I'm also really looking forward to getting enchantments on my gear. So like, if I can get Feather Falling, that'll help me with all these falling deaths, and you get like fire resistant enchantments as well. So if I can not die in lava and not die from falling, and then get the water breathing enchantments so I can't die in water, then I shouldn't die, in theory. I'm sure I'll find a way to do it, but it's going to be a lot harder. That's why the water's there, by the way. So I don't actually need the water there for the items to get moved down, but they're there so that if I fall in the pipe I don't die. It took me quite a while to find the music for this episode. I think it took maybe 4 or 5 hours, but I do like a lot of these songs. And I think it was something like, it's probably around 5% of the chip music artists I looked at had Creative Commons music, so that's like 1 in every 20 artists. And I've got like, I don't know, how many artists have I got here? Probably around about 18, 15, let's call it 15, because like, for a lot of them I have 2 songs each, so it's hard to count. But let's say it's 15, then that means that I must have looked at around about 15 times 20, which is 300 chip music artists. So yeah, it took me 5 hours, that is 300 minutes. So it's an average of an artist a minute that I look through. That kind of makes sense because like, if I found someone who was Creative Commons, then I'd like have to actually listen to the music and see if I liked it. So that would have taken more than a minute. But then if they weren't Creative Commons, then I would like basically just have to wait for the page to load, and it's like all rights reserved, close them. But then I guess also sometimes went to the same artist's page twice because it's hard to remember every single artist you've looked at, and all their names are like puns on computer stuff. It's like it's like either like a name that sounds like it was generated by an AI, or a pun on an animal, or a pun on something computery, or something to do with video games. Those are the only options for titles in the chip music genre, according to my research. And I think it's this where I decide that I need to actually fix up this inner chamber, because like I don't really want to have the cobblestone and the dirt have different like floor areas. Like the idea is for them to like line up, and then the granite's like the horizontal between the two like same sized platforms. I don't know why that's the plan, but that is the plan. Granite breaks relatively quickly, so it's cool. What a time lapse. Sometimes when I place blocks I try to place them really fast, so it's like MLG, and then in the time lapse it's like super MLG, and then sometimes I take really long. Oh, that was my cat standing on the keyboard when it said like HJ, HJ, HJ. I was like I tried to be MLG there and then I like failed. MLG building. So yeah, I basically just want this platform to kind of be like a giant block, you know? You're not supposed to see it as 2 layers, so see it as one chunk. And the fact that it's hollow is like a coincidence, even though there is no such thing as a coincidence. The fact that you are watching this video, and it is the same video that I recorded, proves that there's no such thing as a coincidence. The aliens are among us. I've been watching some of the H3 podcast lately, because like I used to be a really big fan of H3 when they used to do like their super goofy, like ridiculous videos where they'd like, you know, vape Nash, or like wearing 100 t-shirts or 100 beanies or whatever, like in the public, like. And like, I guess I did like their react videos a little bit, but not as much as those ones. So by the way, I'm trying to figure out how droppers work. It takes me a while to figure out that I can't do them vertically down later on, but anyway. It's a lot of learning in this episode. But yeah, like, then like for a while, I don't know, I kind of didn't really dig H3, like, I don't know, they like, I just felt like their criticisms were like, you know, like low efforts, and the content was a bit stale and stuff. Like, I guess like hearing from Ethan on the podcast, like he was going through like depression and stuff, so I guess that was having an impact on the content. But he also, I don't think he really likes doing those weird videos, like, even though they're like, I don't know, maybe when he's feeling better and he's not depressed, he'll get back to them, because like they really are entertaining. But his podcast is like kind of cool, because like he has random sound bites and then they meme on stuff, and it's like, it's kind of like one long react video, but they're reacting to a whole bunch of things. And he has like a whole team, and the team is actually pretty cool as well. Like, it's like when they're talking, like they show them, and then sometimes they have like trivia between team members, or some like sort of manufactured drama, and that's just fun. And the people in the team seem pretty decent people, so, and like, yeah, so it just also feels to me like Ethan is like matured a bit, and he's kind of, because like what I kind of got the sense from him that he was like, you know, like a good person, or like, you know, would be supportive of stuff like queer people and stuff like that. But like for a while, like it just felt like, you know, he was just like getting into the whole like sort of shitty sort of vibe, where like, you know, like there was a time when like he met PewDiePie and he made a video with iDubbbz, and it's like, I don't know, it's just, I guess it was just cringe to me, because like I don't like those artists and stuff, like, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, like, now, you know, he's very supportive, like, supports LGBTQ charities, and he's also been more like open to other criticisms, I guess, and stuff, and just seems like a bit more mellow and chilled, like. So yeah, I've really been enjoying watching his podcast and the jokes and stuff. So that's why it's like there's like this guy on TikTok who he says like there's no such thing as a coincidence. The fact that you're watching this video proves that we are cosmically aligned. Now I'm going to tell you the secrets of the universe. And it's like so funny, and then just like making jokes about it, and I guess like it's like the kind of thing I need in my life, because like I don't have like a bunch of friends in real life, whatever. Like I've got my boyfriend, and then a whole bunch of cats, and then a few friends that I chat to but hardly ever see in real life, and so I don't really have like, you know, like a group to participate in. So I enjoy shows where there's like groups of people who do have it, and you can just enjoy it from a distance, kind of thing. Like it does make you feel a bit less lonely. It's like some kind of copium, but yeah, it can be difficult to, because it's like I want to find like a group of people who have that vibe, but also like people that I can relate to. So it's like there'd be like a queer like Dungeons and Dragons series, but then it's like they only do like a few episodes, and it's like I used to watch what's it called? Acquisitions Incorporated C-Team. Just like a few of the players were queer, and the stories were like very, you know, non-cis-normative or whatever. So, or non-het-normative might be I'm not sure. I think there was actually some amount of non-binary support as well, but yeah, like they kind of stopped, I think, which is disappointing. But I guess that's also why I like to watch Twitch sometimes, and it's like you can just say whatever's on your mind in the chat, and sometimes people reply to you, and it's like more social interaction than you get without, you know, without it, that kind of thing. So yeah, it takes me a while to figure out how to make the hoppers point in the right direction so that the items would actually go from one end to the other, but I did get it right eventually after putting them in and out over and over. I guess, yeah, I'm like kind of just learning how it all works as well. But it's useful to know. Like, it would be cool to incorporate some of the stuff into other farms and stuff as well, like maybe with the other farms, like when I end up putting them in like a sarcophagus, whatever, I can also got some item transport stuff so that you don't have to go into the farm to get the stuff. It's just like a magic pipe coming from that black box there. Okay. At this farm you can actually go and have a look at it. No need to cover it up because it's cruelty free. I wonder if I can get some grass growing. Yeah, but like, so yeah, other thing I was thinking is like, you know how I was thinking, well, initially I was like, let me use this dimension to travel to other places, and I have a few portals out, spaced out, that I've done that for, but the downside is that this dimension doesn't have the multiplying effect. So like if you're in the nether, every 1 chunk you move corresponds to an 8 chunk difference in the overworld. So if you are 100 chunks away in the nether, you'll be 800 chunks away in the overworld. So that really helps when you're doing a transport network, and so I really do want to try and get that working. And so my options are to find a dimension where that does apply, where you do get the multiplication, which I think might apply to any of the dimensions that have nether type generation. As well, some of those dimensions have, because of the custom dimension like generation, they have places where you can break above the bedrock in them. So if one of those dimensions has the effect, then that is going to be an option. The other option is obviously what I was trying to do at one point earlier, which is to... Hey, it worked! Okay, so yeah. But yeah, if I can get above the bedrock on the normal nether, I think that would be my ideal first choice, because that makes the nether useful in multiple ways. Where you might want to look at the nether, you could go below the bedrock or use it for transport, so that might be cool. But if I can't get above the roof on the actual nether, I'll just have to find one of those other dimensions to do it on. And then I'll have to, yeah, then I'll make my transportation dimension use that one, so I get that multiplication effect. Because like, right now, if I'm going to use this dimension to go to, say, the bamboo jungle, it still takes like, you know, 5 minutes of walking in the straight line or whatever. Is it 5 minutes? It might even be longer. This is me trying to wire the lamp up to the signal, by the way. So yeah, if that all goes to plan, then the dimension I'm in here won't need to be that transportation dimension anymore. So then I was thinking, well, what can I use this dimension for? And then I had like a really good idea. I can use it for map art, because it's really going to be flat. So that's a big plus. I won't have to clear out space or build a platform in the air or something difficult like that. I could just go somewhere. So hopefully the maps work fine in this dimension. I'll need to try that as well to confirm. But if they do, then that'll be cool. Because then there's a lot of cool tricks you can do where you copy maps and then you use them in your builds as like a block. Because if you put the map on the item frame, it takes up the entire space of that frame, and if you put them next to each other, there's like no seam. And I've seen an example where they used that to have like a completely white map, and then the map was white, and then they used the item frames and the white blocks, and that as a room, or like the storage room where I was just in, you won't even see the shadows on the edges then. So I think that would look significantly more cool. That's something to think about. But I do also need to go hunting for shulker boxes, and once I have a decent amount, and by a decent amount I'm thinking somewhere around like 10 stacks, you know, like a lot of shulker boxes. But then what I want to do is expand that storage room a lot, and basically the plan is to have, well, that's why I said 3 stacks, so that I can have like 3 shulker boxes per item in the game. And then those shulker boxes could also be being fed by chests. I don't know if I will actually need 3 shulker boxes, maybe I only have 2, or maybe 3, but like more than 1 per item, because like then each item will be like have a spot on the shelf. But yeah, anyway, I'll be expanding so I'll need to get probably a bunch more white and black concrete. So the dimension where I'm getting that from, I need to somehow make it more safe to mine in there. So I'm trying to think of how I could do that as well. So yeah, there's like a whole lot. And to make the sarcophaguses for the farms, I probably need the black concrete there. So the white concrete for the storage room, the black concrete for the farms. So yeah, there's like quite a lot of work, or at least the vision I have for this world, to get to before like I'm doing like the odd cool projects or whatever. Like there's still a lot of like infrastructure type stuff to do. I mean, there's like where the main base is, that's meant to be like a big building, and then having like, I need to have at least like, I don't know, 4 other big buildings near it to start with, before that is considered like the base done. So yeah, there's a lot I want to do, and that's why I'm kind of thinking this is going to be like a multi-year world. And you know, I guess it would be fun on its own just to have a world where all of that stuff is built and stuff, but to me it's part of the fun is in sharing it as well and showing off my creativity and stuff. So I like doing that, and that's why I think doing them for YouTube and stuff is like, it's a lot more fulfilling than just doing it on my own. And also hopefully I end up having it like be cool enough and interesting enough that, you know, people are interested in it, and that would be cool. Because it's kind of like people who do art or whatever, it's like you want to make stuff that people like, and then when people like the stuff you make, then it feels good, and if enough people can like the stuff you make enough that they can help you to pay your bills and stuff, then you can make that stuff all the time. And that would basically be like my dream, because then, you know, I can just focus on creating cool stuff that I want to make, not making stuff that, you know, a random person is paying me to do. You know, gotta do what you gotta do, but it would be really cool to not have to. And I think it would be more efficient of society if it did that for me, because I think the stuff I make will be far more valuable for starters, because it's going to be like open source and stuff, so it's not proprietary, it's not limited to a small group of people to monetize. It's, you know, it's for whoever wants it, like, you know, the game I make and, you know, the content I make and stuff is all like meant to be open, people can use if they want and stuff, like, so yeah, like I feel like I'll be adding more value to society if I was able to follow my own creative pursuits than having to follow other people's oftentimes less creative pursuits. I mean, it's like there's like multiple different, you know, companies that do the same thing, and so, you know, not in any particular industry, in like pretty much every industry. So in a different society, you know, that software would be open source and you'd be able to pull those people's work together and create like a much better solution. And then it's also going to be assigning less people then, potentially, because you might not need so many people working on the same problem, so they can work on other stuff. And yeah, open source is just way more valuable to society than proprietary stuff, and it would really be fulfilling to me and an honor to be able to make open source stuff, you know, with all of my time, not just the time that I have to spare. Yeah, got the cactus dropper working, and I think I just need the lamp, yeah, and then I've got everything done. Trying to get an observer to see the signal. I end up deciding to just go next to it. So that should be top of the pipes working. Come down from the farms into the line of hoppers that takes them to the droppers. The droppers fire automatically until there's nothing more to fire, and the items fall down the pipes. So now I need to actually catch them, and we do that by putting another hopper at the bottom. And that's a simple way I thought of just to get the items from the top to the bottom. There's other ways to do it. And for example, if you're catching it with a hopper, if you don't have enough storage below, and the hopper and the storage gets full, the items won't be able to go into the hopper anymore, and they'll just sit there until they despawn. So It's not like it's the ultimate best way of doing things or anything like that, but for now, it gets the job done, and you know, I can always add more storage on if I see that happening, so I'm not going to waste extra time and like rather get stuff working and then come back to it and fix it a little bit at a time later when I have the insight on what I can do to make it better. So now what I need to do is I need to go and get some blocks because I want to make a little building for the XP bank to sit in, and I want to go and get a block that I think will go well with the XP bank, and I don't just want to use cobblestone because I want it to feel a bit more meaningful than that. And I think, yeah, that is what I'm doing. Like I haven't even started taking advantage really of the glitchedness of the seed, other than using the tunnel, you know, the infinite tunnel as a guide and a way to not have to dig out everything as I go, which has helped a lot, to be honest. And it's kind of made that underground base vibe actually work. Like, I don't think it would work as well without this tunnel. So I go to this dimension and I'm like, endstone. Endstone could work, especially if I make it into bricks. I think end bricks would suit the look of the XP bank because the farms on the top, they're all like kind of modern looking, like, so, but it is also like kind of factory vibe looking. So the endstone bricks are like kind of like, you know, bricky. The brick part is like just checking you can make them into bricks there. But the brick part makes it look like sort of industrial, but then the color makes it look kind of futuristic, to me anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna grab, how much did I grab? Like 4 stacks maybe? And I didn't even really have enough. Oh, I only grabbed 1 and a bit. Yeah, I almost ran out of them as well. And I also grabbed some... Oh wait, never mind. My pickaxe broke. Let's go get it. So it is going to be more than 1 and a bit. I thought so. Well, at some point I will get those enchantments and I will have mending netherite pickaxe and maybe see if I can get efficiency on it, and then if it does get low endurance, I can go repair it rather than have to go make a new one, which is the whole point of making an XP bank. Both the enchanting and the repairing. I might have to set up like an enchanting table. I might do a bit of digging because like you can also get enchantments by trading with villagers, and there's ways to like lock a villager's trades or something. I think if you trade with them, it locks their trades. So you can try and get the trades you want. If you don't, you like change their profession, and when you change it back, they've got new ones. Until you trade with them, then they stick with the trades that they have when you do the trade. So you can get them to have the trading for the enchantments you want. And that way, I think there's a limited amount you can do at a time as well. But either way, it's one of the faster ways to get the high level enchantments if you get them, because you can get like however many, like 3 or whatever a time, where if you had to try and get those with the normal enchanting, which like uses random generation, then it could take a lot longer. So anyway, I'll have to see, I'll do some research. So I have 4 1/4 stacks of endstone brick, and it was like just barely enough. Now I might also end up changing the blocks that are like the columns around the water pool. But yeah, no, it's fine. But I do leave a bit of a gap there so that you could go in from the water. And then I ended up deciding, you know what, I'll just make gaps everywhere. It's not going to be totally walled in, which I think kind of worked, especially when I added the nether brick trimming. Yeah, today's video is like probably a little bit longer than normal, but yeah, I was just like over this whole farm thing. It's like, I want to go exploring some more, you know, like, and so yeah, I just wanted to like keep going and just get it out the way, and I'm kind of happy I did. So I put down the mycelium floor, and it looks better than the dirt, but then the gap between the mycelium and the dirt is like not great looking, so I was like, okay, let's try and add a trim around here. Put the nether bricks in here, and when I put those in, I was like, okay, yes, this works now. Like, doesn't look super out of place. So I do also need to actually build the XP bank itself now. I've just got the items coming down into those chests at the moment. I am going to move them up a bit so I have more room. To be honest, they could go up another 1 block, but for now I think I'm just going to leave them where they are. But yeah, I wanted to have some more space above, below, so that I can put the furnace there and have the items coming out of the furnace going into a chest below it, and have space above the furnace for the hoppers for items to go into it. So I ended up having to build a bit of a like dip or whatever you call it inside the building there, to go down another block, so that the chest right at the bottom, where like basically the cactus green dye after the cactus is smelted is going to go. So to get access to that chest, like, and it be sort of ground level, I had to sort of go down a block. So if I went up a block more of those chests, then I wouldn't need to do that. But for now, I think the dip kind of looks cool as well. And so yeah, I'm just adding another trim at the top because it still looks a little bit too sort of non like engineered or whatever, like too simple to look like it was really a design, even though I also did come up with it on the fly. So yeah, the furnace has to kind of be there so that there's space for the two different items to go into the furnace. And you need a hopper furnace to catch the results of the smelting, so you do need to go down a block. I have a lot of cactus and bamboo in my chest there from when I was like working on the hopper pipes. Every time I like broke a hopper that was full of one of them, like it all went into my inventory, so got tons of that. Yeah. We put them at the top at the end of the episode so that they can go through the whole pipe system and you can see them falling. It's pretty cool. So this is me trying to figure out how to get the two different things into it, and it's like not going in when it's on the side. Looks like I have to put it in from the top. Yes, that is what I have to do. I finally realized, and I figured it out. So now the furnace is going, it's getting cactus as a item to smelt and the bamboo as a fuel source. So it should run until it's full. So that's why you got to put a hopper below it with a chest so that it doesn't get full. And that way it can keep smelting until whatever is below it is full. If you're going to leave it for a very long time without emptying what's below it, then you want to have like a pretty large amount of storage below it, just so that it doesn't like stop working because the storage is full. I decided to put down nether bricks at the bottom here, and I think it ended up looking pretty cool. I decided to use slabs on 3 sides, so that way you step down into this area where you can use the items. And I guess if you kind of like halfway down the slab or whatever, you don't have to go all the way down, but if you do want to get the chests, it's nice to be able to go all the way next to them, rather than them being in like a hole, which like works practically, but just doesn't look as cool to me. I want it to look like it's meant to be that way, not like something that you just managed to get to work and didn't really put effort into. So now I've got to test out how the XP banking works. So you do that by, I think at the moment I have it on. So okay, I turned the hopper off with that lever, and so now the items are starting to accumulate inside the furnace, and then once I turn the hopper on again, then they get sucked through. So that is successfully switching the hopper on and off. So now what I need to do is pull up the hopper chain a bit so that it has source. I'm like, hey, I could just go put like all the extra bamboo and cactus from that other chest in the top now, so I decided to go in and do that and let the XP build up a bit. So I left that chest there so that you can do this if you want to. Because it's fun, I guess. So that should take a bit of a time to empty out. So those items are going to be falling down, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool to watch. So yeah, now what I need to do is turn the hopper off, I think. Yeah, I need to turn the hopper off so that the items start stacking up in the furnace. Then when I take it out, I'll get all the XP from everything that's already gone into the chest. Yeah, I went from level 1 to 3 there, which is more than just one cactus dye worth. And so that confirms that it's working. I also have 48 sugarcane for my troubles. So, feeling pretty good about this build. I don't think I'll need to come back to it and work on it. I think it's going to be functional for a while. I decided to just put a chest at the bottom just for like consistency, so it doesn't look off balance and stuff. And also, I guess you could use it for something. You could do something with it if you wanted. Divert a separate chain or something. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. I'm just happy that this works. It's the first time I've built an XP bank. And there's the items falling down. Kinda cool to watch. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it for the episode today. And I just need to do some editing, upload this video, but I'm excited to get going, get some more progress. I'm working towards having all the gear, getting the beacons, everything. Then I can come and start working on the base and have basically superpowers while doing that. So yeah, but before I end off, I'm going to make a bunch of paper and just make as many book and quills as I can using the resources I have with me, which is, I only have enough. Actually, I'm not using them all up. I just took like an arbitrary amount, which happened to be 16, because I had enough paper for 16. So I'm going to make 16 book and quills, just so that I have them made waiting. So now, well, I had one in there already, so I've got 17 in total. I decided to make an extra chest to put them in. But yeah, basically now, only when like I'm running low on them do I have to go and make more. Only when I'm running low on ingredients do I have to go and get more ingredients. So for quite a while forward, like 16 book and quills worth, which is like, if you think of a portal going double directions, then that's like 8. But even if it's not super efficient and we call it 5, you know, at least 5 more dimensions worth just in the book and quills already. Yeah, anyway, that's gonna be it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around next time. Bye!